are probably familiar with the idea of a pirate. Parrots on the shoulders, peg legs and hooks. But this idea is a bit removed from what Golden Age pirates actually were like. Very few pirates used eye patches, Olivier Levasseur being one of the few ones to do this. And even fewer, if any, used peg legs. If you were to lose a limb as a member of the crew of a pirate ship, some pirates, like Bartholomew Roberts, would grant you compensation and allow you to stay on the ship as long as you wish. There are no records of any pseudo-prosthetic limbs, though. There are no records of pirates owning parrots. These ideas come from media. Pirate poems, pirate books, all inspired by tales of legendary pirates, some of which you may be familiar with. Blackbeard, Bartholomew Roberts, Black Sam Bellamy, and of course, one of the most iconic, Ambrosia Louis. But even these legendary pirates, even if they did influence how we depict piracy today, are a bit distant from the popular culture's idea of a pirate. Today, on this video, we will go over the life of one of these pirates, in order to help demystify piracy and pirates, and hopefully teach you something new. This pirate we will go over is the aforementioned Ambrosia, the legendary Sea Devil / Mirror Man. You probably know him more as Sea Devil / Mirror Man than his actual name, or know one or two characters based on him from your favorite fictional medium. I hope you will enjoy learning about this incredibly odd historical figure. Not much is known about his early life. He was born to a moderately poor family and enlisted in the Royal Navy at a very young age. He quickly became very experienced with sailing and soon found himself a Spanish ship sailing to, led by Captain Francisco. Eventually, the ship crashed in an unknown island. A few members of the ship's crew passed away, but the ship did not undergo irreparable damage. The crash made many members of the crew, who were already annoyed with Captain Francisco, incredibly angry. They were resting in the island when whispers and murmurs of a possible mutiny started circling in their group. The main leader of that mutiny being Ambrose, who was displeased with the captain not just for his incompetence, but also for his own inability to be promoted to higher ranks in the ship. In the morning, when the crew reunited to potentially fix the ship, the crew ambushed and killed the captain, and fixed the ship, and sailed away. Ambrosia was quickly selected captain of the ship, with a great majority of the crew supporting him. The majority of the ones who were loyal to Captain Francisco were either killed or kept as prisoners by the rest of the crew. Although there are no records of him making anyone walk the plank, nevertheless inventing the practice. Ambrosia had always dreamed of being a privateer, even when he was younger, and at first, he wanted to get a letter of marque to become one. But he would soon realize that he wouldn't be able to. Restless and eager to make his dreams come true, he decided to become a pirate, pursuing a life of adventure and robbery, even if it meant a short life and certain death. He started small, robbing small merchant sloops and stealing self-sustenance things such as food, soap, and rope. But slowly, as he became more courageous and got more men, he started going for bigger prey. multiple men from the ships he captured either joined his crew or became prisoners. Soon enough, he would grow daring enough to do his biggest and most infamous feat, the capture of a massive British man-of-war. Details on the battle that took place are incredibly few, and even contradictory, but what is known is Ambrosia's crew won. And not one man of the British ship's crew lived to tell the story. Ambrosia would then proceed to terrorize the nearby seas, capturing many merchant ships and attracting a lot of attention. A bounty was placed on his head of the value of 9,000 pounds, and as tensions started to rise, something bizarre would begin to take place. What I'm going to tell you now is one of the most strange parts of this pirate story, and quite possibly the strangest fate of a pirate known to this day. Despite his depictions in modern media, Ambrosia's Jolly Rogers, pirate flags, never had any skulls on them. The fact that his flag has been distorted by popular culture is incredibly strange, and his flag was one of the most documented, described, and feared of the entirety of the Golden Age. He flew a black flag, with 2 pairs of crossbones over each other resembling a rudder wheel, with hourglasses on the corners, representing that the time of his prey was running out. Seeing this flag as the member of a merchant ship would be essentially one of the most terrifying things you could possibly experience as a captain or sailor, and he was dreaded more than any other pirate. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, because it ties into what started happening in the later months of his practical career. The first thing that kickstarted a sudden rise of strange behavior from him as a captain was the redesign of his flag. A bizarre choice, considering how feared, iconic, and known his flag had become. Ambrosia's new flag featured the silhouette of a mouse in a black background, with mirrors on each corner. This new design was a surprise for everyone, and it would be described desperately in news magazines and to newer sailors, fearing that they wouldn't recognize it was him, since he was mostly known for the crossbones and hourglass flag design. This strange change came from literally nowhere, and over time, things would only get even stranger. Slowly over time, his sightings became fewer and fewer, and one day, he vanished completely. His main ship and crew were found in the same island Francisco had crashed all those years ago, crashed in a completely destructive way, with many crew members being either dead or injured. A worrying amount of mirrors was found in the cargo section, which ended up mostly undamaged. And the most enigmatic discovery so far was made: the books. A series of books, signed and written by Ambrosia, full of either a very strange or obscure language, or some sort of cryptography. No one has been able to decode these. And although a book from 1950 claims to have deciphered it, saying it leads to buried treasure, this book has been debunked, with no records of Ambrosia ever burying treasure. No treasure has been found that has been able to be traced back to him as well. During their trial, the members of Ambrosia's crew who were found alive claimed that they were growing more and more annoyed with Ambrosia. He could not stop rambling about mirrors and legends of another realm, and the flag redesign was something that only he wanted to do, and he did so without consulting the crew. Pirates were surprisingly democratic, and often decisions had to be approved by a majority of the crew through voting. Some of them tried to claim that they didn't know what Ambrosia did, and mostly just did inside tasks inside the ships, or that they were forced to become pirates, but it was to no avail. All of them were tried and hanged, as happened with most pirates of the time. Many legends were born, not only from Ambrosia's feats, but also his strange disappearance. Rumors that he had founded a legendary pirate utopia in the underground of an island, or even an underwater city like Atlantis, for example, started arising. I don't think I even need to debunk these, as their absurdity speaks for itself, really. The figure of Ambrosia and the legends associated with him would later inspire not only works of fiction and how pirates are depicted in the modern age, but also inspire many other pirates to become more daring, to varying degrees of success. Most died horribly attempting to capture warships. Thank you for watching! I plan on making 2 more videos about pirates, so keep an eye out for these.
On that day, the day the man of war called Chase, a miracle happened. A stolen mirror became salvation. During the battle, the captain of the rogue ship, who spent long hours looking into his reflection, brought along the reflected object as he was requested to by the vision. All he needed to do, and as soon as the battle began, it was over, and all the men of the British ship were gone. In the captain's eyes and mind, something else was ignited. He saw the king. He was saved. He owed him his life.
Near Dominico, the next island they touched at, they took a Dutch interloper of 32 guns and 75 men, and a brigantine belonging to Rhode Island, one Norton Master. The former made some defense, with some of his men being killed. The rest were discouraged and struck their colors. With these 2 prizes they went down to Guadeloupe and brought out a sloop and a French flyboat laden with sugar. The sloop they burnt and went on towards Mune, another island, thinking to clear, but on the way there, they encountered a beast. Appearance-wise, it had the body and face of death, with bones strapped to his head. It had 4 arms, each of which holding a hourglass, and its pale mouth dripped thin drops of blood and rests of wood. Immediately, the beast took notice of the ships and quickly started heading towards Robert's crew, walking through the water as if its feet could touch the sea bottom, each step causing waves that grew in size as the beast approached. Robert's first thought of advancing and battling the beast, but soon decided not to, for too he had many men and prizes. In the beast's mouth could be seen the remains of a small sloop, which made him realize the sheer size of the beast. Roberts and his men, in desperation, bent their course for the north part of Hispaniola and made their way to it. There at Bennett's Key in the Gulf of Stamina, they claimed both the ship and the brigantine.
Sailor tales to sailor tunes, storm and adventure, heat and cold. exactly in the ancient lane. And it pleases me that they please develop the wiser youngsters of today. So yet and fall on, if not, if studious youth no longer crave his ancient appetites forgot, Kingston or Valentine the Brave, or Cooper of the Woodland Wave, so be it also, and may I, and all my pirates share the grave where these and their creations lie.